What is going on, Beyond the Uniform listeners? Just coming in with a very brief synopsis, a sneak preview, a peek behind the curtain at the episodes in store for you in the month of June. I hope that does not take the fun out of it, of discovering what gets published on Monday and Thursday. But we've got a killer lineup for the month of June 2019. So just diving right in. June 3rd, episode 277 is coming out. How to maximize your GI benefits, GI Bill benefits. That's with Robert Woods III. Robert Woods works at a company called Banneret.org, one that he started to help veterans maximize their GI benefits. Great episode from the perspective of entrepreneurship, but more particularly just to understand the way that the landscape is changing. And whether you're an employer or a veteran seeking to use your GI Bill, there are some exciting programs out there to let you use that GI Bill in a way that may be more tailored to your career aspirations. So what they do at Banneret, and there's other organizations like this as well, is they go to companies and they show them how they can use a veteran's GI Bill to basically provide on-the-job training. So it's a killer win-win situation where a veteran gets a job, they get their salary paid, they get training, they get everything that they need to get ready for that job. And the company is able to hire an employee that they might not otherwise be able to. So check that out in episode 277. Special thanks to Frank Van Buren from episode 39 in the teen episodes of Beyond the Uniform in our infancy. Frank Van Buren made that introduction. 278 is Eric Sabiston, the Rotary to Airline Group. So this is also an interesting one. It's a similar note. What Eric is doing, and this is a job that he does on the side, is he runs the Rotary to Airline Group, and it's really about helping veterans of all shapes, sizes, stripes, and vocations get into the airline industry. So there's a two-part format to this episode where in part of this, Eric is talking about his own experience in the airline industry. Pretty rad. He can commute to work from anywhere in the world, one of the perks of being a pilot for an airline. But the other part of it is he's helping veterans, and you don't have to have any ties whatsoever to aviation. That doesn't, you could come in from submarines and get into this. But he makes a compelling case about how much the airline industry is growing, how they're going to be facing major headcount shortages. They're having a lot of people age out of their workforce, which is going to leave a really big hole. And veterans can fill that hole. And he talks about how the Rotary to Airline Group gives you the training, coaches you through the process of getting into the airline industry. Just like I'm thinking of the HBO episode that I did recently, like he talks about Brian talked about how the movie industry is massive and how there's just thousands and thousands of different types of jobs, not just directing and acting. It's the same for the airline industry. There's so many different aspects to that beyond just flying an airplane. And so that's a good one there. I learned a lot in that. In episode 279, that's coming out on June 10th, I talked to Natalie Oliverio, who talks about career placement advice. And let me just pull up a little bit more information so I don't mess up her background. So Natalie has been working with as founder and CEO of Military Talent Partners. What they do as an organization is they provide mentorship, coaching, and career discovery to help military talent realize their potential and define their professional goals. So she talks briefly about their organization, what they do, and how they can help listeners, but she's spent the last 13 plus years mentoring veterans, helping them in career placement. So most of that episode is just sucking some of that knowledge out of her, learning from the hundreds and hundreds of veterans that she's helped, different things, everything from how to find your ideal job, mindset, interviewing, all sorts of great skills that we cover there. Episode 280 is Navy to PGA golfer with Billy Hurley III. That's June 13th. If you listen to our Saturday episodes, you probably heard me gushing about that episode right after I did that interview. We are frontlining this episode to go out sooner than it should probably. It should be going out late July, but we kind of fast-tracked it. Billy Hurley's awesome. It's just great to hear his story, to think about how wildly, I was holding back a profanity there, wildly difficult it is for anyone on the face of the planet to become a PGA golfer, and then to take someone who took 5 years out of the prime of their life to serve their country in the military, and that's 5 years where they're on a ship in the middle of the ocean, not getting a ton of practice in, and to come back from that and then go on to dominate golf. It's really unbelievable. I mean, it would be honestly unbelievable if he had not served in the military and just done that full time, and then you stack that on there. It's just crazy. But one of the things that stood out for me from that conversation is this mindset of excellence, of mastery. And what I respect about Billy is that when he was out at sea, the job that he had was the job he focused on. And we talk about how that mindset of, this is my job right now, I'm going to crush it, I'm going to do the best I can, I'm going to learn the most I can, I'm going to excel at this the most I can. It's, surface warfare doesn't translate to golf at all. There's not a lot of overlap there. But that mindset, that discipline, bringing that on and applying that's going to benefit you no matter what you do. I don't feel very eloquent right now, but I think in the interview it comes across a little better than I'm doing right now. Episode 281 on June 17th, Chuck Hollingsworth. He spent 30 years in the Navy. He went to Lockheed Martin afterwards. We talk about Lockheed Martin. We get the lay of the land there. But we talk about what it's like leaving after a full career. And this is partly in response to some feedback we got of wanting more guests on the show with a full military career. Doesn't get much more full than 30 years. So a lot we talk about there. We talk about differences in leadership in and out of the military. And I really like, again, I mentioned this on one of the Saturday episodes, Chuck has some great thoughts about how your collateral duty in the military may be an indication of what you want to do after the military. So don't always think, hey, I was a pilot in the military, I'm going to be a pilot afterwards. Who knows, what you did and a little side job may actually be great interview fodder. And we talk about that, interview prep and lots of stuff related to that. Episode 282 is a fun one. Ken Falk and Leanne Tackett, they served together in the military. They work together through a partnership now after the military. The episode title is Vineyards, Wellness Centers, and More. So that's always fun when we kind of break up the normal one-on-one format. We start doing two-on-one. See if I can hold my own in that one against two people on the other side of the microphone. But it's a good interview. We dip our toe in the water in a couple of different tacks. Apologies, I'm bringing up my notes just to go into a little more depth here. So they're both Ken and Leon were both in EOD. Ken runs what's called the Boulder Crest Retreat for Military and Veterans Wellness. I don't know if they still call it that. When I was in the military, we called it a boondoggle. This is a boondoggle. This is basically a free first-class rural wellness retreat for America's military members, veterans, and their families to recover from visible and invisible wounds by providing rest and reconnection time, reintegration training, and world-class combat stress recovery programming. The best thing there's so many things to appreciate in that sentence, but the best one is free. It is free. It's completely free, and it's incredible. I want to go. But we talk about that, and then we talk about Leon, who started Boulder Crest Vineyards. The Tackett family vineyards. Leon talks about starting a vineyard. They work with the Boulder Crest to provide them with wine. So it's not only free, but you got some wine while you're there. So good interview there. It's also fun just to kind of hear about how they took a working relationship in the military and have forged a partnership afterwards. 283, this one is crazy. This is June 20th coming at you. It is Life After Being Declared Killed in Action with Justin Constantine. Although it may be confusing to have not just one Justin, but two Justins in that interview. Justin is a motivational speaker. That's, what does it take to qualify for that? Well, it takes being shot in the head and being declared killed in action, and then, oh wait, they bring you back and you have an incredible death-defying recovery and you have a new lease on life. Like, it's freaking wild story. He talks about going on to law school. It talks about then working in the federal government and with the FBI and then starting his own business. Justin is an incredible person. I think I'm the lesser of two Justins on this interview, but he works at a company called JobPath, which helps veterans. So there's a lot in this interview. It's just, he's an incredible human being. His story is incredible, but then he's also helping veterans, and so he has all this advice to share about helping in your career transition. We talk about just a lot in that interview, so that one's a pretty unique one. Check out 283 on June 20th. June 24th, episode 284. It is our second interview with American Corporate Partners, but this time with the head honcho, Colleen Deer. I love ACP. Every single veteran, whether you're on active duty or getting out, you should be using American Corporate Partners. They connect you to a mentor. They get to know you. We talk about, they have like a crazy staff that gets to know you. They get to know their mentors, and it's like dating on steroids. Like, they're like, hey, you would really get along with Joe over in New York. Let's connect you. Like, they're doing some crazy work to pair you with the ideal mentor, absolutely free. So we talk about their program, but more importantly, what they've learned in helping tens of thousands of veterans in their career search and career transition and career success. So a lot of knowledge shared there. And then 285 is a big fat wild card. We're holding that episode June 27th. So the last one coming out. Who knows? I don't even know what that's going to be, but I know it's going to be awesome. That's it for the month of June. Every Tuesday, Thursday, we've got the episodes edited, queued up, and ready to go out the door. They've got their marching orders. They're going to be going straight to your ears to give you unbridled wisdom. And July, we've got the episodes lined up as well, starting on, every Tuesday, Thursday for July as well. So stay tuned for that. And if you listen to my episode from last Saturday, we had a little powwow as a Beyond the Uniform team. We got some great advice. We took all the survey data and started getting to work, figuring out the optimal lineup for July and beyond. So looking forward to getting that at you. Have a great week, and I will be back Monday, Thursday, and then Saturday with a little bit of what I'm calling, as of now, mullet episodes. We have some business up front. We talk about some announcements, and then some party in the back where we just riff on different things going on. And check out the Saturday episodes if you haven't seen those. Okay, take care. Talk to you soon. Bye.